We're live.
We are live.
Hey, everybody. All right, hang on here. Hey, guys. All right, so we're live. We'll give everyone a second to tune in. Travis, you were going to show us something. I want to see that in a minute, but I want to first introduce Travis. So welcome to the Interesting People series, guys. This is guest number 1, Travis Saxton. Travis, how long have we known you? Is it 10 years?
I want to say 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. It's the better part of 12 years.
Okay, well, awesome. We've spoken with you over the years. We first met you when you were with Real Trends, and I think you were some kind of a director of technology at Real Trends, and you were consulting with companies like ours and companies all over the nation. So I've called you over the years many times just to pick your brain, let you know what I'm going through. So thank you for that. But anyways, we thought you'd be an interesting person to talk to about technology, where it's going, what you're seeing. You are currently with T360. So tell us just briefly, Travis, what do you mainly do at T360?
Yeah, the best thing I could tell you about what I do is sum up my relationship, or my job title is I am a matchmaker. I work with almost 1,200 technology companies in the residential real estate space. I know what most of them do. I know who they integrate with and what their capabilities and strengths and weaknesses are. And so what happens is oftentimes brokerages, franchises, even small teams and individual agents call us up and say, I have an issue, I have this problem. And so I do a lot of matchmaking. It's like, if that's what you're trying to solve, here's the best fit for you from a technology perspective.
Okay.
And Paul, let me here, Travis, tell us briefly about T360. What is Stefan Swanpool's motivation, goals? What's he trying to accomplish at T360?
Yeah, we're a research and consulting company for the residential real estate space. We've, in the last 2 years, launched everything from talent division to brokerage division. We have an organized real estate. We even have a diversity division that just launched as well, with charitable foundations and stuff like that coming, big announcements coming. And so we really want to be that Boston Consulting, McKinsey consulting group for the residential real estate space. And we've done a really good job of building multiple verticals and research and data or instruments to help us get there. So we have a lot of data that backs up our recommendations and influence.
So agents themselves, at 5-star, there's about 570 agents right now. What is the easiest and simplest way for them to connect with T360? Just go online, become a member? I'm assuming there's multiple things that they could participate in that might, and again, each one of the agents, we've always said, we look at agents like on a climbing wall, and there's multiple ways to get to the top. And so we have, when we look at the 5-star agents, we see everybody doing all sorts of things, and yet they're successful in multiple ways. So what does T360 offer to agents?
Yeah, so I would say on the individual agent level, it's really the publishing consulting, or it's the publishing and research side. So we publish the annual Swanepoel Trends Report, which talks about the top 12 trends that are going to impact our industry. Lots of research goes into that. That comes out in about a week and a half. So there's elements of data and research that we have available to the masses. And then once you start to climb the ranks and you say, all right, we have agents that are getting really serious and they want to grow a business, maybe grow a team, or they want to take their team to the next level. Or sometimes it's a brokerage that might be a 25 agent brokerage that wants to get to the next level. So for those folks, we have an MBA program called T3 Fellows, and we help those individuals kind of put the business plan in place to get to that next level. And it could be a team within 5-star, for example. How do we button up our growth strategy? How do we grow our team? How do we create leads? How do we add the best technology and stuff like that? So that's our T3 Fellows MBA program. And it is an application process that people have to go through, and you can go to T360.com to find out more information. And then the other way is, which I was just getting ready to share, we are in beta right now on this product. So you're the first company to really see this and to see it live. But we have a T3 Tech marketplace with 910 products, 87 categories, and we've sorted and organized technology. So if I'm a real estate agent and I want to go find a CRM, I can just pop in CRM here, click on the CRM category, and it's going to take you to 50, 60 products of the top CRMs. You can compare them side by side. You can build your own tech stack and stuff like that. So it's in beta right now, and I will pleasantly give the 5-star family private sneak peek access to the T3 Tech Marketplace. So we'll do some stuff where Greg and Paul, you can send out to you and your agents an access code so that they can access this. And it's not live yet. It's going to go live in about 20 to 30 days. So you're getting the first sneak peek of the T3 Tech Marketplace.
Thank you.
I believe our agents will be jumping in there quickly and seeing what you're offering there. Excellent. I like that. So besides this area, Paul, do you want to head in a different direction yet here?
Well, no, I think it's a really good intro to Travis's background, where he came from, what he spends his time on. So I think this is going to be super valuable for the agents, especially this little marketplace here, because I think that's everyone's number one question is, what's out there? I mean, how do we get our hands on it, and does it work? And I think, Travis, where some of the times when I've called you, it's been like, hey man, I am really frustrated right now. And I'm like, help me. And the reason I get frustrated, and I think you probably remember this, is that most of these tech companies promise that their software is going to solve any problem you have. Mm-hmm. Right. And there's some sort of a program out there to solve every problem. But as you just showed us,
if I had $1 for every time I heard the words end to end or complete real estate system, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah. Yes. And that is the frustration, right? And so, we've oftentimes, we just got out of a relationship with KV Core that you were aware of. And, that was kind of frustrating. We had really low adoption rate. So that brings up my first question to you. I mean, as you just showed us, you have 900 plus technology platforms dedicated to real estate people inside of that platform. Hold on. I think someone's calling me. Sorry about that. So anyways, I guess my number one question for you is, does technology work for the masses, or why do we have such a low adoption rate in technology? Where does this, if technology is helpful for these realtors, why is it that the adoption rate on the whole is so low?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's actually it's a deep rooted question. And we'll start with the most obvious. And the most obvious thing is, not all agents are created equal. And so you have actually 4 different types of agents, and there are some hybrids in there too. So one of the things that we study at T360 is agent personas, and what makes an agent tick, what resources do they have, what goals do they have, are not all created equal. So if you look at a quadrant, we have a T360 agent persona quadrant that says, in the upper left-hand corner, we got the prospector. These are people that are really good door knocking, cold calling. They're using dialers, and they're very sophisticated in how they're processing their business. Then you got the converter. That's the person that's generating online leads, whether it's inside real estate, whether it's Boomtown, enter lead generation company here. And so you got the converter. They're really good at pumping leads in. It's all a numbers game. And then they convert the leads, and they use CRMs and stuff like that to basically track their business. Then you got the networker in the upper right-hand corner. The networker is a very strong agent that's good at building a sphere, building relationships. They're out in the street. They're having coffee. They're doing that kind of thing. And they don't do a lot of lead generation. And if they do, they're dabbling. They're not usually very refined at it. And then you got the marketer. This is the niche area person. He might be specializing in golf course properties or waterfront properties or whatever the case may be. And there's all different types of these agents. And one agent might be a really good networker and a really good marketer as well. So if you want to think about it, another way you can think about it is the affinity with the consumer. And so a converter and a prospector, they have low affinity with the consumer. They literally don't know who they are. They generate a name, And their ability to build a rapport instantly and connect with those consumers is a strength of theirs. And then when you look on the right-hand side of the quadrant, the affinity with the consumer is really high. They either know the consumer because they built their sphere, or they know the market so well that instantly they bond and connect with the consumer because they're the horse or luxury specialist in this pocket of the neighborhood. So right there, you have 4 different types of agents and teams, and they all have 4 different needs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so the problem that we're
Travis, I was going to say, so Travis, what do you do with all that now?
Yeah. So the company that comes in and promises to be all things to all people really can't be, because you have different types, different resources, different needs, and different strategies to market their business. That's the root of one of the major problems in real estate. That's one problem I'm going to tell you. And so that's why adoption is so low, because a converter that's trying to use a CRM that's made for a networker, it's just not going to work. And so then they're going to get frustrated. They're going to go out and buy something on their own, and they're going to abandon the system that the brokerage offers. And so that's the crux of the problem right there. The second one is the architecture of real estate. We got real estate organizations, NAR, we got the MLSs, we got the associations, we got the brokerages, we got franchises, we got teams, and we got agents. Conceivably, an agent could have access to 6 CRMs, one from their MLS, one from their association, one from their team, one that they bought personally, they saw it at Inman or picked it up off the shelf, and one from the brokerage. It's mass chaos out there. Yeah. And so that's one of the major problems is you got the complexity of real estate plus the complexity of different agents, independent contractors doing business in different ways.
Right. Well, that's a good point. So you're saying that your new marketplace, will you guys be able to categorize by these types of categories you just described?
So yeah, we have 87 categories, and we have the abilities to take 2 products side by side and compare them on what's important to you. And so you'll be able to literally stack them up, look at checkboxes. Does this have lead routing? Does this one have this? Does this one have that? So we're trying to cut through that noise and enable intelligent change in the real estate space.
Travis, at 5-Star, one of the things we did, and I believe the agents appreciate this, but we always said, I would rather put all this money that the brokers are spending on buying all these programs, which you just showed us why it's a waste in a way. And so what we've done at 5-Star is we've said, we're going to lower your cost and put the money back in the agents' pockets so that they can go out and allocate it and buy into the program that best suits their personality. And so
I like the idea of, and I want to clarify, because there are some programs out there that are very successful, but again, no matter what you choose, it can't be all things to all people. And so it comes back down to value proposition, culture, what type of agents, your training program, your coaching program. There's lots of variables that we have to factor into this equation. So what I do think is valuable when it comes to technology is, what are those tools that are best in class that are going to help your agents do something either more intelligently, more automated, or better and easier, right? And let's give you an example. So, and I like where you're going with that sentiment, Greg, is because one of the technology companies that I think Paul asked me to maybe talk about is like a company like Transactly, for example. They're a technology-backed solution that offers transaction coordination as a service. They have 260 transaction coordinators across the country. They do all the work for you. They literally process every single transaction. They record it in your transaction management software. And then they'll go, if you happen to, maybe your franchise or brokerage offers up .loop or SkySlope or something else, or DocuSign, they will actually record it in that platform too. So they're doing everything for the agent. Imagine what you could do with that money then that you're saving, and putting it into, oh my gosh, I can get a whole transaction coordinator for the same amount of money or similar, that our broker might invest. Right. And so there are different ways to look at technology. There's not a one size fits all for brokerages too. And sometimes, depending on what the brokerage needs, a let's use the word bloated enterprise platform, right? A bloated enterprise platform that's supposed to be all things to all people might not be the right fit. And in some cases, you might be better off. I'll give you examples like in boutique indie brokerages, some of them are being super successful with creating print and digital marketing centers, like automated email campaigns and email templates. And so they're being very successful with technology solutions that are not even CRM related or CRM focused.
Right.
And so I would say the best advice that I can give any brokerage and any agent, and this is going to come out as controversial. So
good.
This is good. Yeah. So this is going to come out as controversial. And I can guarantee you that every agent on this call does not want a CRM. That sounds like, whoa, no, I want a CRM. No, they don't want a CRM. They don't want to manage a CRM. They don't want the day-to-day management. They don't want the data management. They want the byproducts of the CRM. They want automated marketing, reminders, follow-ups, and stuff like that. And so people fall in love with this CRM mentality. And while there's a lot of amazing CRMs out there, and some of them work towards automating your life and making you work smarter, not harder, but what agents truly want is what is going to drive my business and produce actionable results and make me more productive. And if sometimes it's a CRM, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they might be better off with the best email marketing platform in the industry because that's what they use or that's what they do. Give you an example. So ActivePipe. ActivePipe's probably the most popular email marketing platform on the market. Basically, if I could sum it up, it's little elevator pitches. It's behavioral intelligence, predictive analytics on top of email marketing. So your email gets smarter and smarter every email that you send. So if I send a housing market report to you, Paul, and you start engaging with $500,000 listings, the emails that are going to reach that consumer next are pertinent to that area or that price range that they're looking at. And the agent lifted no fingers to do that. It was an automated journey that we sent them on. And so behavioral intelligence, predictive analytics, all of that stuff is out there. Artificial intelligence, they're all buzzwords, but what they do is they make the agent look better and it's more personalized content. That's the whole, if I could sum up artificial intelligence in one sentence, it's literally to make you more personable and more relevant with the consumer. Whether that's websites, whether that's print marketing, you can add in social media marketing. It doesn't matter. It's just getting you smarter and smarter and more refined with your strategies.
Yeah, I think that you hit it on the head there. Most of the conversations we have with agents about CRM, right? Everyone's like, oh, do you have a CRM? I think that you're right. Everyone's asking a different question when they say, do you have a CRM?
Yeah, they are. I had one where I was sitting with two brokers side by side, one on each side of me. They were talking across me in New York City before events and the world shut down, right? I'm sitting with two brokers, and one of them is a super lead generation focused broker, and the other one was like a super traditional brokerage coaching sphere. And this one asked this one, what CRM do you use? And I was like, hold on a minute. We need to put a firewall up in this conversation because you should not be talking to you. These are oil and water in this conversation.
Yeah.
And it was like this guy recommended this lead gen platform that would just have worked for this other brokerage.
Interesting. So what was the name of that email marketing transaction or that tool you just mentioned a second ago? The one that used ActivePipe. Okay. ActivePipe. And this is all on your marketplace.
Oh yeah. All on my marketplace. Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg. Coordinator, you said that was Transathlete?
Yeah. Transathlete.
Transathlete.
And it's one of the hotter companies in the space. And, they're across the whole United States.
What's their pricing model look like?
So it's per transaction. So it's no different than if you were to basically hire a local transaction coordinator. You just don't have the overhead, the risk. They're trained, they're certified, they have a technology backbone, and then they plug into your nuances too. So 5-Star has these little things that they do throughout the transaction, or maybe follow-up programs and stuff like that. Or you want them to update something in a CRM. Like they do stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
hold on a sec. Travis, is there a program out there that helps a broker deal with the 4 types of agents to help as you start a discussion with somebody to determine, it's like, why not just start right from the beginning and figure out who this person is and help them figure out who they are and not even waste any time telling them about all these other things when it's like, no, this is, you're not going to be doing cold calling. You're not going to be calling for sale by owners. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
To follow up. Go ahead, Travis. I was going to say, take the Enneagram or Myers-Briggs and does anyone marry this?
I don't believe that there is. That's a good business opportunity. So the closest thing that I'll share with you is a company out of Florida called 3 Data Pulse. Now it's more for the brokerage because it's a brokerage platform. And
what's his name again? He's a good guy. He was with our friends down there that were part of ERA.
Yeah. I can see Philip Gagnon or Gagnon. Yeah. So Phillips,
whatever.
They've created a company that allows you to kind of track the relationship, what's unique to your agents, your manager's relationship with your agents, and lots of stuff like this. And so I would say that they're probably the closest company out there, but there really isn't one that could take a Myers-Briggs or a personality test. I literally have mine right here, and it's amazing the difference once you understand somebody and understand what makes them tick, what their needs are. And so my needs are completely different than my partner on my team, Michelle. And while we're both great at what we do, it's like what makes her operate is way different. And that's the same thing with agents. And so what it'd be fun. We have all the materials that we could weaponize you guys with so that you could have an agent persona session and a coaching session. Yeah. You could figure out where your agents sit on the quadrants. That might be the best thing to do, is like, we have resource maps and everything of what they need and what they do. It'd be an hour session. And then your agents basically fill out and put a dot on a quadrant. And then you'll be able to figure out who all your agents are, then what their individual needs are, so that when your managers or you guys are talking with them, you can then tailor the messaging perfect to them.
That's been like a back pocket kind of dream of mine, is to develop this personality test that goes with, like, exactly what you said, where you used phrases like prospector or like network or these types of things, right? Yeah. I want to be able to give someone this test and be like, here's the areas based upon your personality where you might experience the most success. Because I think one of the reasons people burn out in this business is because, you join a traditional brokerage or even possibly here, and if we keep sending you down this wrong path, like, you're not very good at networking, right? But I keep telling you to network, you're going to burn out. Yes.
And that's why we do have some burnout and churn in our industry. And someone sees a shiny penny over at another firm because they think they need this, whatever. And then they realize, well, the grass wasn't always greener over there. And that's one of the problems, is people don't quite understand this. And so we've built a system that basically says, here's the four personas I just talked about. Here's their key practices, how they do business. Here is their needs. What systems do you need? As you can see, this person needs a basic CRM. This one needs a whole CRM follow-up system to do business.
Yep.
This person needs a dialer, down here. And like, a dialer for a networker, it's going to mean nothing. Like, they're not going to auto dial their sphere. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to call them up and be like, let's have coffee. Yet these guys are going to throw a bunch of names from a phone book into a dialer and then hit go. And so then you have, what are their challenges? So once you know these two, you can say, let's get technology to make you more efficient. So your challenge as a networker is you're restricted by the size of your sphere of influence. You have a difficulty scaling your audience, and you get into a comfort zone. So that's where coaching comes in, the ninja selling philosophies. They push you out of your comfort zone, and how do you stay in flow with your sphere? Whereas a ninja selling philosophy is not going to work for these two personas. And so you start to understand this a little bit more. And then once you understand that, and you layer it on to, all right, what are actual people? What are their challenges? And how do we resource map this so we can figure out what do they need to be successful? And so then we build these like actual, personas out of real fake people. And we say, this is a 25 to 30 year old that is new to the industry. It's their first career. They have friends, they have some sales experience, and they're motivated by making money. Here's their needs and here's their resources. And so then you can start to tailor your messaging to these folks.
Oh man. All right, Travis, we might have to have you back, man. This sounds pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. So Travis, one of the things that connected me years ago with Stefan was,
and Stefan is the founder of Swanepoel, just to get everyone on the same page.
T360.
And so his originally, before T360 came around, it was Swanepoel, I think.
Yeah, a lot of our products were like Swanepoel Trends Report, and now we've changed the Trends Report. We were a smaller company, Real Sure Consulting, and then changed our name. So we've evolved, and now we're a pretty large organization and consulting company.
I used to always wait for that trends book to come out because I thought it was one of the most interesting, thought-provoking people in our industry. And so I enjoyed that very much. And so you said that's coming out next week?
Yeah, December 7th. So not next week, but the week after, towards the end of next week.
That book has always been right around in the $200 range. Is that about where it's at again?
Yeah, that's right. This year is the first year where we're going to have a digital version where the chapters are broken out, they're keyword searched, and we've got some intelligence built on top of it, which is really cool. So now you can search and find things, and an audio version. So you can actually throw in the headphones, and we're appealing to multiple personas too.
Yeah. More personality types here.
Yeah.
So, all right. So when you're sitting in the organization and you've got Stefan, who this thought, provoker, thinker, what do you guys see going on right now in the real estate industry as a whole? Where does your thinking and where does your conversation lead to right now?
Yeah, I'll give you some obvious things. I'll start small and then I'll go a little bit bigger. Okay. Because on the small side, we are seeing this shift, Paul, just like you've said, where brokers their margins aren't as great as you think. And you go out and you can't afford to buy everything on the market. We got over 1,000 tech companies in the marketplace. And it's like, how could you possibly buy everything to all agents? And so we're starting to see this kind of structure shift mentality wise of, I just want to buy what's going to move the needle and make our agents happy. And then there's some things where, look, you might need to offer 4 CRMs. You might need to plug in and be like CRM of choice or lead gen platform of choice. And you work out a deal where it's a preferred vendor relationship and you're not actually writing forking out the money for that. So we're starting to see that. Obviously there's a huge shift into virtual technology. That's, obvious. We don't need to go into COVID's impact on our industry, but having things like virtual CMAs and virtual consultations and stuff like that, virtual open houses, virtual showings, the list goes on and on. But now it's not just enough to have a Zoom account. It's literally to have Zoom integrated with your tech stack so that when your consumer has a question and they're reading through the documents, they can quickly fire up, boom, there's your screen, and you're talking to them, answering questions on the document type of stuff. So we're seeing that kind of transition to where more of a brokerage operating platform is pertinent rather than a brokerage like marketing platform or enterprise platform that I would call it. So we're starting to see a shift there, where there's some really good ones of those too that are popping up, where it's like, I just need all of my things in one place, and then I can plug in what I want periphery to that. So those are 2 trends there kind of identified. But on the macro scale, you saw the big announcement maybe just yesterday, or was that this morning? HomeSnap getting acquired by CoStar. So we're going to have a new huge player in the residential real estate space in the generating leads and stuff like that. So that's big news. We're also seeing venture capital flood in. So Vector Capital, Lavelle Minnick, Providence, Constellation, a bunch of these players. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to see some clear leaders emerge and evolve out of this, because follow the money, basically. They're going to start acquiring a bunch of small guys, building mega platforms. So you're going to see Salesforces for real estate, Salesforce CRM, or HubSpot or stuff like that. That's going to start to happen in real estate. And then don't forget about our ancillary services. Title, you got First American and Fidelity. They bought SkySlope and Commissions Inc. and all these others. So now you got title companies coming into our space, wanting to play in the tech space. And then you have mortgage right behind it. So there's some big mortgage players sitting on the sidelines going, we're ready to jump in. And so you could literally be getting all of your technology from a mortgage company or from a title company if you had that relationship and stuff like that. So yeah, it's changing fast. It really is. So we're trying to follow the money.
One of the things that, again, you talked about what just happened here with CoStar, which is a commercial type brokerage company, which is huge. And they evidently have more money and assets than Zillow. So up till now, Zillow's been the 800-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
And then this past week we had DOJ, Department of Justice, and we had NAR settle. And evidently their big deal based upon this lawsuit by Rex was that they think that realtors, especially the ones working with buyers, they think that they've been able to hide behind this thing in the MLS where they never had to go to the buyer and say, I'm going to charge you 2% or 3% because it's always been paid by the seller. So they want to expose this now. And they believe by exposing this, that somehow this is going to drive costs or commissions downward, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this isn't my area where I do kind of spend some periphery time is what's the standard practice in real estate for marketing a listing or, doing a real estate transaction, right? And so that's going to change where you can't just get away with, hey, let's just throw our listing into the MLS and it's a hot market, it's going to sell. So it's things like virtual tours, photography, image enhancement, stuff like that, where that's going to force agents to be more professional and to validate their commissions, right? And so you do have to run a business. You have to be thoughtful and mindful about this. These are the things that I'm going to do for you. And here's how I differentiate myself from the low cost person that just is putting their listing up on the MLS. And so I think there's going to be more energy put into these areas that have just been taken for granted. And I'll give you an example, like Box Brownie did a study with T360. We looked at other parts of the world and how they're marketing listings. And in most parts of the world, even third world countries that are impoverished and everything, they still have virtual tours, floor plans, and better imagery and professional photography for lower cost listings than we do in the United States. So we've gotten lazy and complacent with the MLSs and Zillows of the world when it comes to how we market listings. So we're going to see a revigoration of standards in how we market and how do we communicate with the consumer and stuff like that. So that'll happen as a result of this too. So it's kind of a chicken and egg thing.
If you had to bet, will Zillow be in the lead in 5 years from now?
In the lead, but what do you mean by lead? Like consumer eyeballs?
Yeah.
They still will be. They still will be. CoStar, you got to think about the market dynamics too. Commercial real estate's getting obliterated, right? In major countries. So this is their way of diversifying, and it's kind of scrambling, to be honest, from what I see. And so it's not necessarily a sign of desperation, but at the same time, Zillow's a behemoth. And even when they came out and started to be a brokerage, that's polarizing. 50% of the population said, I'm on board with them and I'm going to spend money with them. 50% said they're the worst. And so, but the fact of the matter is we've gone in my 14 years in real estate, something like that. We have gone from a brokerage-centric business to an agent-centric business to now a consumer-centric business. And the consumer's eyeballs are where the money is. When we had MLS listing books and you guys controlled everything, that was the brokerage-centric business. Now it's, agents, we have to appeal to them, race to the bottom in commissions and different business models and types. That became the agent-centric, and we've embarked into the consumer-centric. So whoever has the eyeballs for the consumers, and that's why the mortgage companies, the title companies, the big data companies, they're all fighting for who can get ahead of the consumer and be there when they're choosing and making their decision. And so it's a fight for the consumer.
Paul, you there?
Wow. All right, Travis. You got something there, Greg?
Well,
Travis. Go ahead.
Go ahead. If you got something, I've got more.
Do you see anything on your horizon right now from where you sit that is a potential game changer in real estate? Or is everything just some sort of iteration and like baby steps towards big change?
Yeah, I'm not seeing major significant changes. There's going to be no technology on my radar or 1,000 in the 1,200 that I'm tracking that is just going to be like, boom, light bulb goes off. Yeah. I see little. Now we've been refined so much in our industry that we're going to start to see the little things that I mentioned active pipes, transactleys that are taking a unique position on something and then just being the best at that.
Yeah.
And so I see a lot more of these best in class solutions where they're, instead of a mega company where they're maybe $100 million company, they're an amazing like $25 million company that is just really good at one thing and maybe a couple things. But that's what I'm definitely seeing there.
Yeah.
When the trends report comes out, there's going to be 12 new trends that we're really keeping an eye on. Mortgage, title, insurance. I think that if there was a big game changer, it's going to be somebody that can really take those ancillary services and just make it seamless and just no brainer. And that could be a result of technology, and it could be, technology is actually streamlining it even better. So we're starting to see some new business models in those areas too. But I would say, here's my piece of advice on this. The biggest game changer I could see was when someone creates the Amazon subscription of real estate. And it's like, I buy a home from you. It's my single biggest asset purchase in my life. And for most people it is too, unless you're really rich, right? And so it's like, it's the single biggest thing I'm going to do in my life. And so I want that asset to be taken care of. I don't care what it is. Like right now, here's a good example. I have a stamped concrete patio that needs stamping. I have a fence post that is sagging in the side of my house that's going to need to be replaced. And I'm probably going to want to do a kitchen remodel in the next year, right? Like those are three things that if someone really truly knew me as a consumer could take care of that. And I would pay good money for a 5-star to come in and be like, just take care of this for me. And so it kind of goes into it's the connected services. It's the plumbers, painters, HVAC, it's like those things where traditionally brokers have stayed away from that. Like, oh, I don't want to recommend somebody because what if they go wrong? Well, somebody's going to come along with a fully integrated technology platform that I'm going to pay into $1,000 a year, $2,000 a year, or futures. Think about this, where my next time I sell my home, I promise to sell it with 5-star if you take care of these little things, and maybe not big things like a roof or something like that, but you could find a way to contract that and basically this is your home ownership program. You bought it from us, you own it through us. We'll take care of everything you need. We'll put an Alexa in your house. You can ask it like, hey, I need help. I need concrete patio, something like that. And then 5-star real estate Alexa spits out, hey, these are who we recommend. So that's where I see us going. And I'm seeing some big dominoes like the Realogy and Amazon and other big franchises. I see this happening. And so I think somebody's going to really, truly figure it out in the next 5 years.
Okay. Do you ever see, do you see a fully digital buying experience where I just log in, click buy, and then I just can not even talk to a realtor? And do I get a return policy on my house?
Not within the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, it's just too big of a purchase. You're not buying a trinket. You're not buying even a car. You can get there, but there's a reason why the auto industry hasn't really done that too. You see commercials now. It's like no touch buying and stuff like that because they're responding to COVID. And even with cars, it's still not happening. So there's no way it's happening with real estate.
That's actually a good point there. That's an interesting one. If it was that simple, cars would be the first thing to go.
It would. Yeah. Auto, and they're getting closer. Don't get me wrong. They're getting closer, but it's just, we're 10x a car. And so you're not buying a piece of clothing where you can just whip it off and send it for a return.
Hey, Travis, is anyone out there tracking consumer sentiment that worked with these super limited service companies? Are they tracking, people who have worked with Open Door or Knock or any of these sort of like new age sort of real estate experiences? Is someone tracking how those people are enjoying those experiences?
I haven't seen any studies recently on that. I remember old studies where there was, like, hey, what are the top real estate franchises and what does it mean? And is it worth it? And, stuff like that. I know you guys are part of Leading RE, who has always had a fond spot in my heart. I love the team over there. And so I like what they're doing. But, when a consumer thinks of Amazon as a real estate brand and other companies that are not in real estate, it's like, there's a problem, right? Mm-hmm. There's a problem. The loyalty, the sentiment, the connection with the consumer, that really tells a big story there. Without going into any more on that, but I think I do think that the new iBuyer programs, this is all as a result of a persona. Again, back to the personas. Now, this is a consumer persona. We've talked about agent personas, but there's different consumers. There's the low-cost consumer that all they care about is price. There's the value consumer that wants value, wants to be taken care of for the right money. There's the luxury consumer who all they care about is privacy and working with the big names and stuff like that. And so once you start to break those down, there's more that I can't think of off the top of my head. But what the iBuyers are doing is they're appealing to the consumer that wants instant fast. They want the buy now, and that's only 10% of the market or less. And so while iBuyers are important and that 10% of the market can't be ignored, they're not going to go 30%, 40%. It's just not in the cards for the consumer because there's going to be consumers that want value. There's going to be consumers that want lowest price, and there's going to be consumers that want fast and efficient.
Excellent. Paul, I am about 40 minutes in here right now, and we've got, I think, it's some very good insights here from Travis. And I'm very grateful for your time and your that you spent here with us today. I hope the agents have been able to glean a few tidbits that they might be able to import into their own personal businesses. And then we will look forward to getting that code from you. And then we'll forward that out to the agents. And I also would like, I think a lot of agents could benefit from your the real trends coming out here, or the
T360.
The
trends report. Yep.
And
lots of trends.
Very, very helpful for a lot of them. Just to some agents don't care. Others really like to dig in and understand what's going on with the industry, as we just got done talking about. And so, who knows? We maybe have 100 agents that would be willing or interested in buying that.
We'll put the information out there.
I'll send you a coupon code for your firm.
Man, that'd be great. Thank you.
Through 5-star. Yeah.
And Travis, I know that I'm personally super interested in all of the slideshow you showed about the prospectors and all this kind of stuff, but also the consumer personality. So I would love to circle back around with you to talk about that and how it could bring some of that information to the company as well. Yeah,
that'd be good. I'd be happy to do that.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm sorry you're not able to go out there and hit golf balls right now because you're covered in snow. But keep hitting them straight, man. And thank you so much for your time, and we really appreciate it.
You bet, guys. Take care.
All right, guys. We'll see ya. Thanks, everybody.